Okay, hello, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining me today. We are going to spend this afternoon talking about Virtuoso Travel Week. I can't believe it's that time of the year already. I just felt like we were there yesterday, but I guess that was 6 months ago, and we're prepping to be there again in the next 6 months. So we're going to go ahead here, and I want to kind of just start with a little bit of the agenda. We have a panel discussion today. And then I'm going to go over and do an overview of Virtuoso Travel Week, its registration fees, along with the registration process, dates and deadlines to be aware of, and then resources to help guide you through Virtuoso Travel Week 2025.
Galaxy Trump's FCC and basically walk.
If you're not on mute, can you please go on mute? Thank you. So today I'm thankful and happy to have David Petlin of Flair Travel and Kirsten Billhardt of Rosedale Travel with us. David is one of our top producers from 2024 and 2025. He was a Virtuoso Cruise icon. And last year at Virtuoso Travel Week, he was awarded the Most Admired Advisor. So congratulations, David. And then Kirsten Billhardt, she was our rising star in 2024. Which then became our top producer in 2025. So hearing from them, I think there's going to be some great tips and benefits of Virtuoso Travel Week, because I do know that Virtuoso is part of their business and has really set them up for success. So I'll kind of let you guys start. The question I have for you first is, what do you feel is the biggest benefit to attending Virtuoso Travel Week? Who wants to go first, or I'm going to call you out?
I'll let ladies first.
Oh, thank you, David. Thank you, David. You know, obviously you learn a lot. You learn a lot and you don't even know what you don't know. So a lot of what I get out of Virtuoso Travel Week is sort of like happy little surprises of like things that just pop up that are interesting to me and I didn't know that they would be interesting. So there's obviously the learning component. There's also a lot to be said for connecting with others. So you get to spend quite a bit of time with your fellow advisors from Thousand Mile. And then you'll also cross paths with other people maybe in your own city that you may know. And so like all of this is just like having this resources of friends and networking and connecting, and you just learn so much from just these small conversations. And then the third element is I do use VTW for marketing. So I'm constantly sharing how I'm investing in professional development, that I have these connections with suppliers, luxury suppliers that they can't Google and find on their own. So I pull together some blog posts and other content to just reinforce that I'm in the luxury space. I'm investing in these relationships. When people are working with me, they are getting a highly trained, well-connected travel advisor. David, what about you?
Yeah, I would say my two biggest things from Virtuoso Travel Week is the connections with the suppliers. I build my business on connections with suppliers. So the business development managers, meeting hotel general managers, all those things, so that when I'm booking my clients in these properties or with these businesses, that I have a referral, somebody I can contact. We can reference back to that party or that one-on-one meeting or whatever it was that we had that week in the email when I'm talking about my VIP clients booking with them. I generally book only things that I have a contact with. So this helps develop and, foster new ones and continue to foster those ones year after year. Sometimes this is my one time a year to see those people. And every year it's like, hey, how's it going? And that 5-minute conversation keeps that relationship alive and make sure that my clients are taken care of at their properties. And then learning, for me, I'm not big on the Sunday learning. Sorry, Daena, if you're going to go into the Sunday learning. But I would say for me, the learning is about learning about new properties and destinations, especially when it comes to like globetrotting and the table appointments. Some of my favorite hotel discoveries are through those table appointments of hotels I've never heard of or destinations I didn't know about, and thinking when I get home, how can I incorporate those into clients' trips? Because these hotels seem so cool that I make the hotel part of the destination for the clients, and it's not just a hotel to stay in, but that's actually why they're going to Europe or why they're going to Asia, is to go and stay at this hotel.
Thank you. And David, you hit it right there, is you set Virtuoso Travel Week to align with your business needs and requirements, so that there's a lot of offerings and things happening during the week. It's very busy. That allows you to take advantage of that, what's going to fit your needs, which may be different from Kirsten's or another advisor's needs.
Truly, that's one of the great things of the week.
So this next question, you might have already hit on some of it, but how has Virtuoso Travel Week successfully impacted your travel business? If there's anything more to add on from what you've already shared.
David, you want to start on this one?
Yeah. I mean, I would say it just really is those relationships. I mean, I've had, I was on a one-on-one with a supplier once and had hotel reservations at her hotel. She literally opened up her computer and went into their reservation system and upgraded my clients while we were sitting there at the table. You know, like, those are the kind of things that clients can't do on their own, you know, that you can't just get from an email or something like that. I mean, there's something so powerful to the human connection. And I'd say Matthew says that all the time during Virtuoso Travel Week, that there's something so inherent in this business about human connection that Virtuoso Travel Week just inspires me. I mean, I started this business 10 years ago, and I went to Virtuoso Travel Week 6 months in, having no idea what it was. Virtuoso was brand new, even to 1,000 Mile at the time. And I was like, what is this? I went, and I was like, oh my God, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. So I'd say that Virtuoso has changed my business because of going to that week. Is I discovered what I wanted to do with my business and how I wanted to grow.
Yeah, and I'll just add a little bit more into that. And there's like that serendipity of, like, you just don't know what you don't know. And it really opens your eyes to new on-sites, new partners, new hotels. And you're like, who knew? I didn't know about that. And that, like, element of surprise is, first of all, very interesting and keeps me engaged in travel. And it's delightful to be able to share those with clients and help them, you know, kind of share in the wonder and the opportunity that we have.
It is. It's about finding those little hidden gems. The core part of Virtuoso Travel Week is your matched appointments Monday through Thursday. So what strategy do you use in selecting the supplier partners you want to meet? I'm going to start with Kirsten this time.
Yeah. So, you know, David mentioned something about kind of having a plan or knowing how you want to grow your business and where you want to grow. And so before you kind of lose yourself in the craziness that is VTW, being deliberate and intentional about how your business is going to evolve, or how you want it to evolve over the next year or two, is going to really shape the kind of suppliers that you want to meet at VTW. So I would say, you know, you're sharing with a buddy, so you're going to be you know, probably only in control of about half of the slots, using most of the slots to be aligned with where and how you want to grow is going to be super important. And then just in general, like I love using or booking on sites. Like, to me, they are a hidden gem, and this is an amazing opportunity to connect with some of the best of them. So I always prioritize the on sites. I found tourism boards to be super interesting too, and you don't really get exposed to those in many other places. So I would sort of lean in on some tourism boards for areas that are of interest. And then cruising, I'm always trying to learn a little bit more of cruising. So just taking advantage of those is something that I personally prioritize. David?
I would say for me, the biggest thing is knowing the challenge of the system and knowing how to manipulate it so that you get the matches you want. Because when you got to know how the system works, and if you've never registered before, if you have registered and you're like, how does this all work? I'd say that's the biggest thing. So you have your 4 days and you like pick on Monday and it says like, do you want to meet with any of these 10 people? And you click no, show me more, no, show me more. And it'll start cycling through and keep showing you the same people. And you got to play with like the filters, like show me only hotels or show me, only tourism boards and things like that to get it to show you people that it's not showing you, to find the right matches for your day. I think it's something like you pick 30 people per day and they'll match you with 20. So making sure that you have that, and then you can rank them also as to your most important and such. So really knowing how that system works is really important. For me, I do kind of a split between people that I know to keep those relationships alive, people who I want to learn about, who sound interesting in destinations I sell. And then often you'll get suppliers who will pick you and it'll say this person has been asked to meet with you. And if they've reached out and they want to meet with me and it's even remotely interesting, I'll match them back. Because I want, if they want the time with me, then I want the time with them, so it shows a good common interest. So that's kind of how I do my picks for the week.
You probably just blew everybody's mind trying to especially if they've never done and attended Virtuoso Travel Week and did that registration process. More information is to come on that. I'll talk a little bit more through the logistics later on today. But once the appointment tool does open up for you to start selecting your preferences, there will be more sessions with Virtuoso walking through that of how that all works, and because then you get to select and then you get to reorder it for your prioritization. So more to come, but it's very great. Thanks for those tips, David. Along with that, you kind of talked about if someone matched, requested to meet out to you, but you versus not them. What are some top of the advantages of meeting with supplier partners you are not familiar with or currently do not sell? David?
I'll go. Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, I usually meet about half new, half same. And really the half same is really just to keep that relationship alive and like find out what's new, or, is there anything that I should know about that's changed since we met last? Talk about any successes of clients who have been with them over the year, upcoming bookings, things like that. And clients who I'm, and then suppliers who I'm not familiar with. I always want to grow and expand my business. Like I just started doing Southeast Asia this year. And so really trying to grow that business. And I added, a year ago now. And so like a lot of my suppliers that I met with in this past August were from Southeast Asia, whereas before those were ones that I always, kind of X'd out because it wasn't a destination I was selling. So just focusing on where I want to grow my business, kind of what my pulse on the trends are of my clients leading up to that selection process. Like, what are my clients asking me for? Are they asking me for Iceland? Are they asking me for South America? Places I'm not as familiar with, and getting more of those suppliers in there. And then for me, also, like hotels and direct hotel bookings is a big part of my business. I know that's not everyone's business model. A lot of people use tour operators or DMCs and they book the hotels for them. But I like to do direct hotel bookings. So I do more hotels one-on-one. So that's kind of, I like to meet new hotels and again, to find new destinations to send my clients based on the hotel.
Yeah. And, Daena, you were asking about kind of meeting with people that maybe you didn't pick. And I think what's interesting is you're matched up with a buddy that is from Thousand Mile, and you will learn things from that person. Like a couple of years ago, I was matched up with Chrissy Gates. I don't know if she's online, but her business is all around non-alcoholic travel. And I learned so much from the kind of questions she was asking and like the varieties of services that are out there, and then it's just like you sort of have to be like 80% aligned with where you're going and how you want to grow, and then like leave 20% up there for just things that are interesting, and or leave some room for some surprises.
Thank you. What the next question I have is Saturday's event is the Globetrotting, and that's kind of like one of the highlights that people attend to if they're not able to go for the whole week, at least want to attend Globetrotting. So I believe both of you have attended Globetrotting in the past. So why do you attend, and what are your benefits and key takeaways from that, separate from the appointment meetings?
Yeah, well, The globetrotting is a different model than the one-on-one meetings or the social kind of events. So for those who haven't been globetrotting, you're spending more time as a small group with individual suppliers, and you kind of go, it's like a trade show floor, and every 12 minutes or so you all rotate down to the next booth. And the booths they tend to be more interactive. There's more videos or, little demonstrations or something that helps bring that product to life. So first of all, they're more fun. They're inherently more interesting because they tend to be more hands-on. And it's an opportunity to explore one of the communities that you may not be a part of, right? Like I'm not an Ultra Luxe. I don't qualify for Ultra Luxe yet, but you get to go to the Ultra Luxe community and just sort of, see what it's like behind that little red curtain and learn a little bit about what's out there. So again, it's the element of surprise, of serendipity, of learning something that you didn't know existed. And globetrotting is just more immersive, interesting, fun. In culinary, you can be drinking cocktails at 8 o'clock in the morning. In wellness, there's like, little mini massages and little yoga stretches and all that kind of thing. And it helps bring it all to life.
David?
I would say the same thing. Like it's very immersive. It's a really good way to, again, learn new suppliers, see what's new in suppliers that you're well aware of. Sometimes there's good giveaways. I've gotten some cute little stuffed animals and such. Often they'll all even do exclusives just for attending the globetrotting. Like there'll be like bonus commissions or things like that, or specials for your clients for things that you do for those who attend globetrotting, because only about 1/4 of all of Virtuoso Week goes through globetrotting. I will say on one thing, yes, it's set up like a trade show, but it's not a trade show. Do not just hop from booth to booth. Please stick with your assigned posse and go in the order that you're supposed to travel with. There is nothing more annoying than showing up to a booth and people are just randomly there. And please respect everyone's time and listen to the buzzer and move when appropriate. It is one of the biggest killjoys of globetrotting when you have terrible agents ruining the flow of globetrotting.
Virtuoso is changing the structure with more to come. I'll tell you a little bit more about that coming up when I talk about community globetrotting.
Oh, yeah.
I love Kelly. Yep, Kelly Nader puts in fun swag. It is fun. So you I see where Kirsten comes from. It's like almost a trade show setup because you're kind of walking down an aisle, but you're going as a group. You're not just coming and going as you please. It can be decorated. Again, I'll talk more about it when we get to that slide, but it is that immersive. So you get to have a little bit of that experience of either that destination or with that supplier that your clients would be able to experience as well. So it's more than just the quick talking, learn about the product and move on. Because we have a lot more to talk here. Do you have any additional personal tips to share for those that may be considering attending Virtuoso Travel Week the first time or follow up for Virtuoso Travel Week? Anything else you'd like to add about the week and the experience and everything?
I'll quickly go through a few things. I think managing your energy level and making good choices at time of registration and when the supplier invitations comes in is really important. Like most of us cannot go from sunup to 11 p.m. day after day after day. And you are required to do those matchmaking appointments. If you sign up for something, you absolutely need to show up. So make good choices, know your energy levels. I'm a morning person and I fade at night. So, being able to go back to my hotel room at like 6, 7 o'clock and be done for the day is a really good decision for me. And when those invitations come in, most of them, you need to make a call pretty quickly because the good events will book up. So make calls, and when in doubt, probably no is the better answer to give yourself some room for more yeses down the road. And then just vacancy kind of things. If you are a coffee person, bring your own Keurig coffee maker and have it in the room, and you will save yourself an hour of time getting that morning coffee. That has been a game changer for me. And packing, it requires some thought and coordination. Some people do dress to impress. So think about your outfits. You know, you may have the white cruise night and island gear and the formal and everything else. Be conscious of footwear, underpack a little bit because you'll get all that swag and some of it you'll definitely want to bring home. So really it's just being thoughtful about what you accept, thoughtful about your time, and thoughtful about your packing. David.
I would say some tips like reach out to suppliers that you book with and find out if they're doing lunches and dinners. I find those to be really exciting and rewarding. Virtuoso does feed you for lunch, but I have not been to a Virtuoso lunch in years. I'm always at a supplier lunch. But then also know where you're at, because that's also really helpful, because sometimes your lunch is in Bellagio, but you're in tracks that day in Aria. So it's a lot of walking. So be very mindful of that as well when you accept your lunches and things. My biggest tip also for hotels, stay at Vdara or Cosmo, because that way you're in the middle of the two hotels. Because if you're in Bellagio and you're in the far tower of Bellagio, it is a very long walk from that tower to Aria for 2 days. So if you're picking hotels, Cosmo is my preferred hotel, because a lot of suppliers do dinners at Cosmo also. So that would be my tip on that. Reach out to your suppliers and get invites to lunches and dinners.
Thank you. If anybody has any other questions, you can throw them into the chat. We can ask them throughout or at the end. But now I'm going to kind of go into Virtuoso Travel Week. What is Virtuoso Travel Week? An overview of it. So Virtuoso Travel Week this year is August 8th through the 14th. So it's a Saturday through Thursday event in Las Vegas. And the host hotels and where the events are at are Bellagio, Aria, Vdara, and the Cosmopolitan. So that's why David was referencing Vdara and Cosmo, because your appointments and evening events will be between Bellagio and Aria. These are your host hotels, but you don't have to stay at them. So I know a few of you have been to Virtuoso Travel Week in the past and you stay at other hotels. That's fine, as long as you are able to arrive to the appointments at either Bellagio or Aria at the start time. So just a little information, especially if you haven't been to Virtuoso Travel Week in the past. And I see I forgot to pay for my Canva, so you get to see a little Canva icon or stamp watermark here. Looking at Virtuoso Travel Week last year, there were 4,800 plus attendees. So it is a big event. So if you're thinking like, you know, our conference, other events you attend to, it is a very large event. It is a global event. So with that, we had over 100 different countries represented last year. And between all that, there was an average about 2,000 different companies and brands that attended, that they're there for the networking, the preferred partner lounge, your meetings. Some of them are there just for the community globetrotting that David had mentioned that's going to be on Saturday. Taking a look at, you know, the additional benefits of Virtuoso Travel Week is just, you know, attending one Virtuoso Travel Week. Even if you know, the more you go, this number is going to go up. But on average, those who attend Virtuoso Travel Week, their average annual spend increases by about 70% with their clients. So thinking, you know, through this, what is the ROI there for you? What's your type of clientele? The connections that you're going to make, those individual ones. It, you know, for some, Virtuoso will say it's a family reunion. Everyone shows up, you see your friends again, the suppliers, it's a family reunion, but it's also reconnecting. It's making new connections and those, except the hidden gems, the new opportunities. So this is a high level overview. And yes, it's a very busy week, but it's a great week. And so starting on Saturday is the Globetrotting. This year, Community Globetrotting is only on Saturday. It's a one-day event. And Virtuoso has changed that schedule so that there isn't conflicting or overlapping of events. Where last year Globetrotting was also on Sunday, plus the professional development, plus the travel tech summit. There was a lot going on and people would have to pick and choose and miss out. So the feedback that they received was, you know, they want to be able to be focused and not have to always pick and choose when there was multiple events happening. So with the community globetrotting, it's going to be on Saturday. I'll go into a little bit more of that into the next slide. Sunday then is going to be your curated learning and development. The Travel Tech Summit is going to be part of that learning development as opposed to a separate event itself. And then Virtuoso Travel Week will kick off the week that evening with their welcome reception. Monday through Thursday, this is the core business of Virtuoso Travel Week. And again, I'll go into more of this in detail later on with your matched appointments. So the matched appointments are going to be Monday through Thursday from 8 a.m. to noon. You're going to get a 2-hour lunch break, and then you can come back for 1 more hour from 2 to 3. So you're on average about 23 appointments each day. Oops, sorry, my cursor's in the wrong spot. New this year is that Virtuoso Travel Week is going to offer destination and trend sessions. These will be in the afternoon after the matched appointments, so they're from 3:30 to 5. The topics will be selected based on advisor demand, traveler behavior, as well as emergency trends. So the destination sessions are going to be focused in deep dive on specific destinations, where the trend sessions will be focused on the exploration of travel trends. Also throughout the week, Virtuoso does a host of many different specific lunches and evening events. One of their other popular lunches is their Under One Sky Lunch. This is their sustainability focused program. This includes leadership insights, sponsor moments, as well as live award voting. So this is your opportunity. So it's not like coming in and seeing who's going to win the award. You're voting live for those that are attending. This year, they're moving it from a private lunch to a featured participant lunch. So David was talking about those lunches that he goes with suppliers. There is a participant lunch offered every day, both at the Bellagio and Aria. On Monday, this particular day, the participant lunch is going to be the Under One Sky at the Bellagio. If you don't want to attend that one, but you want to just still eat at the participant lunch, the general one will be at Aria. Tuesday, their specific lunch here is going to be the Experience Africa lunch. This is by invite or request only. This is a destination-focused lunch celebrating Africa. And then Tuesday evening, they have a themed casual night. In the past, you would have to add it to your agenda, be waitlisted, and you get approved. Everybody's invited this year. You just have to add it to your agenda. You don't have to wait for approval. So that's really nice about the theme night. The theme is to be determined, but it's fun. It's, again, like Kirsten says, kind of needing to plan your evenings because there really is something going on just about every evening. And so you don't want to overcommit because it is a long week, but it is a fun night to enjoy. Wednesday evening is 1000 Mile is going to have their cocktail reception with our sponsors of Crystal Cruises and Luxurious and Beds Online. And then we'll conclude the week on Thursday, celebrating that we made it through the appointments and everyone will applause and go, yay. And that evening, they do their Virtuoso Gala Awards. And so that event is capacity controlled. So this is the evening that David won his award last year. So it's supplier awards, it's agency awards, it's destination awards. It's a really great gala, dress up, fun evening. So if you would like to join us, please be sure that you do add the session to the agenda after you have completed your registration. It is, like I said, capacity controlled. Everybody will be waitlisted at the beginning. So don't think you can't add it because it says you're going to be waitlisted. Everybody's waitlisted. Approvals and reservations will start mid-June. And then we'll all celebrate either going to bed, going home, or headed to the club. So let's take a look into the two big features of Virtuoso Travel Week, starting with the community globetrotting. That is on Saturday, August 8th. This is a one-day event. As I mentioned, they changed it so it's no longer competing with other core programs. They're partner exhibits in themed pavilions. So this is your hands-on learning experience. New to this year is they're going to do a morning briefing that is going to align and kind of set the stage of what the day is going to be about. The morning briefing is mandatory for all participants, so please be sure you're there. You get scanned in, and then you can select up to 3 community pavilions. Registration to select those will come later, probably around June, July, and you're not limited to the community that you may be currently a member of. So this is your opportunity to go a little more in depth in the community that you're a member or explore the other communities that are available. So 1,000 Mile does cover the cost of 1 community for your primary, 2 communities for our primary advisors and 1 community for our sub-agent advisors. So if you're interested in going to the Globetrotting, I highly recommend that you are registering to be in a member of at least 1 community. And I'll explain more about that in a little bit too. During the lunch on Saturday, if you are signed up for the Community Globetrotting, the Globetrotting lunch is going to be where they do the community awards for the communities. Sustainability, Kirsten mentioned before, there's Ultra Luxe, there's Adventure, Cruise, Family and Celebration, as well as Wellness. And then they will end the day with an optional discovery hour, which is just a little extra time of additional networking. Moving on to Monday through Thursday is your matched appointment. So as I mentioned, this is kind of like the core of the event. Change for this year is it's just the matched appointments. And then you can do scheduling appointments if you want. Those of you that attended last year, concurring with this afterwards, there was those automatic, as I call it, speed dating, round robin, quick lightning type of automatically assigned appointments or themed connects. They are not part of 2026, so you don't have to worry about it. It's just the matched and then anything else that you want to schedule on your own. So that's really going to make it easier for you to curate your agenda for the week. These appointments are going to be at both Bellagio and Aria. So one thing I forgot to tell you is the Community Globetrotting on Saturday, that will be at the Aria. For the matched appointments, they're going to be 9-minute meetings with a 3-minute transition, moving from table to table. You're only going to be moving around within the room that you're at. So you're not going to have to be running from Aria to Bellagio. And so when you are selecting your preferences for the partners that you want to meet with, you're only going to be able to see who you want to select on Monday based on the room that you're going to be in. So we may be in Aria 2 days and Bellagio 2 days, but you'll know it could be Aria one day, a different Aria room on Tuesday, Bellagio Wednesday and Thursday. So it really keeps it specific there. Suppliers or partners are going to stay at their table. We will be the ones moving from table to table. These appointments are mandatory. So please be sure that you're there for each appointment, even if it's a supplier partner that you think, you know, my clients aren't interested. This isn't part of my business. You don't know that maybe that hidden gem, that maybe that aha moment, like, oh, I didn't know about this, and have that little nugget in the back of your mind. So please be respectful of their time and attend the appointments. You may be paired with another 1,000 Mile travel advisor. As Kirsten said, she was paired with Chrissy a couple years, and she learned a lot from Chrissy. And it all depends on how many advisors do register and how many tables Virtuoso allots for 1,000 Mile that we will be assigning and pairing up. We will do our best when we go into pairing. We do take a look at your business and pair you up with somebody that has a very similar business. We try not to pair someone up that's focused on cruises with somebody that may be focused on FIT Europe. That would not be a good pairing because you'd only maybe get about half of those appointments would be beneficial to you. This is a big investment into your business, and we want to make sure we're setting you up for success in meeting, having you get your appointments set you for success that align with your business. And then after the matched appointment, so after 3 o'clock, you are able to go out and schedule appointments and meetings with partners you weren't matched with. So, or maybe go to the preferred partner lounge. It really allows you to be flexible. And some of you may say, I'm done for the day. I need to go back and work on some quotes, or I need to take a break. So after 3 o'clock really is your time. So this is a global multi-segment partner audience. So it's about you, it's about Virtuoso, it's about the suppliers, the different destinations. So there is a representation across all supplier types, regions, and businesses. There are a lot of hoteliers that are there. I've heard from some others that are like, all I have are hotels that I'm meeting with. You may not book with them directly, but those hoteliers may also be available to book through tour operators or through the DMCs, and to inquire what their partnerships are. It's really going to help you have a well-rounded Virtuoso Travel Week for your business. So what's the cost? Now let's talk about the money. So it's an investment into your business. So if you're attending for the full week, the registration cost this year is $450, and that's the full week, Saturday through Thursday. If you're not able to attend the full week, that's fine. They do offer a daily rate. So there is the daily rate, $225 per day. So if, let's say, you can only be there Sunday and Monday, or Saturday, Sunday, Monday, it's $125 for Sunday and $225 for Monday. The community globetrotting, as I said, is complimentary if you are a member of at least one community. If you're not a member of a community, go ahead and register. I will remind you and show you where to register today before I let you go. So that way you're not tacked on an additional $65 fee to that registration. We ask that you do register for the days, only the ones that you will be attending, either the full week or daily. Please do not register for the week and then only decide to be there Monday and Tuesday. Back to those matched appointments, you are assigned an appointment slot. And if you register for the full week, Virtuoso, as well as 1,000 Mile, will expect you to be at those appointments Monday through Thursday. So it really does kind of help align. If you no-show to those appointments or miss those, and there's many of it, the partners do report them to Virtuoso, and that could have an impact on you attending future Virtuoso Travel Weeks. And please note that the rates do increase June 1st. So if you're thinking about it, it is best to request to attend and register before May 31st. I had mentioned about the globetrotting, about penalties here. So talking about, those pavilions, as David mentioned, follow your group, stay with your group, don't be bouncing in and out. Virtuoso has enacted that if you do not show up for your community pavilion session and get your badge scanned, they will be assessing a $65 penalty fee that will be added to your invoice after the event. So if you register for the session, please be sure to arrive on time. So what's the process to register? So the reason why we're meeting today is the request to attend is now live. Virtuoso opened that up today, this afternoon. You can actually submit your request to attend now. Some of you may have already done that. So the first step is to go to the Virtuoso events and submit your request to attend beginning today. It does say between now and May 31st, and well, that's just because May 31st is when the current pricing ends and it goes up after that. You can still submit if something comes up and it's June 20th and you're like, okay, I'm now cleared my schedule, I want to attend Virtuoso Travel Week. That's fine. You can still submit your request to attend June 20th. Just know that the pricing is a little bit different. So right now is the time to go and submit those requests. When you submit your request, 1,000 Mile will be notified. So we will be reviewing all requests, and then we have to either approve, deny, waitlist, whatever the options are. Once we approve you, that'll go back to Virtuoso Travel. Virtuoso Travel. Virtuoso will review those and then make the final approval. Once they make the final approval, you will be notified by email that you've been approved, and you can now go out and complete your registration. Approvals may take up to a week, depending on when they get submitted. Once you are approved, you will proceed back to the Virtuoso events to complete your registration. So it was a request to attend, and that's where it's going to sit till it's approved. And then you'll be able to complete the process. Select the days that you will be attending. Then you can go ahead and select the host hotel that you would like your accommodations to be. If you choose not to stay at one of those 4, you can select no hotel and then make your own reservations elsewhere. Please note that Virtuoso does have negotiated rates with the host hotels, and those rates only apply when booking through the Virtuoso Events app at the time through your registration. If you were to contact the hotel directly, those rates would not be available to you. You'll submit your payment to complete your registration. Okay, you're registered. It does not end there. Don't forget, now you need to navigate through the agenda section for each day to add those capacity controlled events. Please do not skip this step. I know many skipped it last year, and then it was trying to add on, and then you're being waitlisted. So it is best to kind of navigate and set your schedule up front. You're going to go into Saturday, select, yep, I want to attend the community globetrotting. You don't get to select the pavilions yet, but you're committing and saying that I'm going to be attending the globetrotting. So that way, then Virtuoso knows how many attendees are going to be participating in that event. You can adding in whether or not you want to attend professional development, the tech summit, the Tuesday casual night. Don't forget to waitlist yourself for the gala if that's the event you like to go to on Thursday. Add the evening celebration clubs, as well as adding in any of the participant breakfasts, lunches, Under One Sky, the Experience Africa lunch, and Virtuoso Gives Back. With those lunches, even if you add yourself to, I'm going to go to the participant lunch, and then later on you get an invite by a supplier, that's okay. Go with the supplier. But at least this is just giving Virtuoso a quantity number idea of how many attendees are going to be there. Excuse me, sorry about that. So as I mentioned, the event registration request to attend opens today, February 18th. Starting March 4th is when the attendance approvals and registration starts. So in general, it can take up to a week after you submit your request to attend to possibly receive that approval. Right now, it is going to be about 2 weeks out. So there's collecting all those original requests. They will be sent to us, and then we will be able to start approving them March 4th. At that time, then you'll get to go into register, select your host hotels, and then add into the agenda. Other deadlines to think through here, those matched appointments. So we were talking about the processes and selecting your preferences. The matched appointment preference tool will open on June 17th. So, and the reason why it's not open now is because the partners are just registering to attend Virtuoso Travel Week as well. So we don't even know which partners are going to be there. So starting the 17th, you'll be able to select your preferences. That does close on July 8th. So, if you do have a buddy and you'll be paired up at your table, you'll let you know in advance. So if Kirsten's paired with me, we'll let Kirsten know, and her and I will be able to have a conversation and kind of coordinate our preferences so that it aligns with both our businesses, so we're both set up for success. And then a week later on July 15th, those appointments are going to be published. That's great because I'm beginning that day, you're going to see who you're meeting with, and anyone you're not matched with that you wanted to meet with, you can then reach out to schedule those other meetings in the afternoon at a time that's convenient for the both of you outside of the required matched appointments. We talked about the gala, is that it's going to be automatically waitlisted. Beginning on June 10th, the waitlist approval will begin as well as reservations. 1000 Mile will be hosting tables at the gala once we know how many of our advisors are attending, and we will be able to be identified. Sometimes we may have 2 tables, we may have 3 tables. We will start sending out reservations to invite you to join our table. We would love for you to join us, but you're also not obligated to join us at the gala. You could hold out and wait, because maybe there's a supplier that you've been speaking with and they're going to invite you to their table. Feel free to go and enjoy the gala sitting with another table with a supplier, a partner. That's great. Otherwise, you can join us. Once you accept an invite, you will not, it's going to show that you've already are confirmed, and you would not be able to receive an invite from somebody else. So take that in mind, that if you do accept ours but still want to be with the supplier, don't accept ours. You're going to want to just let it sit so that it's going to show that you are available to be invited. reservations will close on the 19th. Because this is capacity controlled and the wait list does get pretty long, is that after you've been approved on June 10th, you have until July 24th to cancel your gala reservation without penalty. If you cancel after the 24th or you no-show, there is a $250 penalty. So that's why I really want to make sure you guys are aware of this deadline. Because again, things happen, things come up. We understand that they do too. But there so many people do want to attend the gala, that you're taking that spot once you're approved. The other date to be aware of for cancellations without penalties or fees is June 17th. This is the last day for registration cancellations, your registration transfers, hotel changes, cancellations, payment completion, all of that. So June 17th is the first one. July 24th is the next one in regards to cancellations for the gala. And then lastly, I do want to share with you some Virtuoso Travel Week resources. The first place you want to go to is the Virtuoso events site. And I'm going to show you where that is here in just a second. That's going to be on virtuoso.com. Virtuoso will be sending out and making available on the site, as well as probably emails, is your pre-recorded sessions. So there's the event registration 101. If you missed that last week, don't worry, it's on the Virtuoso event site. I'll show you where that is. And then as we get closer to that June date for your matched appointments and what that process is, they will be sending that out so you can see what that tool looks like, how you go ahead, set your preferences, how you sort those preferences to have that set. Virtuoso does have an events app, which is great. So you don't have to print out your agenda. It's going to be in an events app, and there's going to be a tutorial coming on that later. And then as well as the gala dinner process as we get close to that date for the reservations. You also have your account manager, as well as help@virtuoso.com. And going back to all of it, your emails. Please be monitoring, managing, and checking your emails, not just from Virtuoso, because they're going to constantly be sending you updates, reminders, how-tos, but as well as the supplier partners. So you're going to get those inviting you to the various possible lunches, special events that they're hosting offline, outside of the actual schedule, your evening different cocktails. But as I said, going back to what Kirsten had mentioned, is setting up how you're going to track it as an Excel spreadsheet. Manage it so you're not just saying yes to everything and realizing, oh, I have 5 cocktail parties to go to right now, but how do I get to 5 different places? And you don't want to overbook because, again, you are going to need some of that downtime. It's a very busy, very crazy week, but a very amazing and beneficial week. So the Virtuoso event site, and then I'll open it up to questions here, is you're going to go to virtuoso.com. You're going to go to Virtuoso events, and then the events home. And as long as I'm still logged in, this is going to work. And I am. So you're going to go under the global events, Virtuoso Travel Week 2026. Here's where you click on to request to attend, and it'll take you to my events page to complete the process. More information about Virtuoso Travel Week, why to attend. And here's a lot of those helpful links. So if you don't remember what I talked about, the agenda, it's right here. Same thing with the dates and deadlines, your registration process, the costs, the dates when they change, cancellation penalties. If you've been to Virtuoso Travel Week in the past, you can take a look, click here for the 2026 formats, changes, and enhancements. More about the community globetrotting, Virtuoso awards, FAQs. I love the FAQs. There's so much information there. That would be my first place to go to. And then the webinars and sessions. So I mentioned I missed the webinar last week because I confused the Virtuoso one on Wednesday with the Advisor Network call on Thursday. Good thing that's recorded because I can come out here and here's my member schedule and I can view the recording. So all the webinars that they do, including their pre-recorded ones, will get posted here. If you have any questions, unsure about what did I say? If we're not sure, the first place I would come to is the Virtuoso Events, Virtuoso Travel Week 2026. So I think we've got quite a few questions here. And let's see here. Amanda, anything that you see right away while I catch up?
Summer
gonna say, you left
gave
me.
a lot of really great tips. I highly recommend everyone read through those when you have a chance. Mostly just recording. And then Joanne had a great question. What if we can only be there Monday through Thursday with an arrival on Sunday?
Great question. I did forget to address that, as well as something else that I want to let you know about. Yes, even if you can't attend the full week. So let's just say you want to do the globetrotting, the community globetrotting on Saturday, but you can't be there for Monday through Thursday or later on. So it's twofold. I'm going to get to her question, but I'm going to back it up right before it. I encourage you to attend Saturday. Register and come for Saturday for the community globetrotting. And if you're a member of, one of the communities, there's no additional registration cost for Saturday, as long as you're part of that. So even if you can't come for the matched appointment piece of it, just come for the globetrotting on Saturday, and maybe the professional development on Thursday, or maybe it's the travel tech summit that you want to do on Sunday. I said Thursday, I meant Sunday. So it's really a way to curate this event specific to your business. I encourage that. Then if you say, well, I can't come for that, I want to do Monday through Thursday only.
She would register for the full week.
That's exactly what I was just going to say. Absolutely, register for the full
registration. Full week registration commits you to Monday through Thursday matched appointments.
Yeah, and even if so, then just don't register for any of the globetrotting sessions or professional development. So your agenda is not going to show that you're not registered for anything Saturday and Sunday on your agenda, but that gets you into those appointments. If you can only be there Monday and Tuesday, coming on Sunday, please only register for Monday and Tuesday, because if you register for the full week, we will also expect you to be there Wednesday and Thursday for those appointments. The other thing I did forget to mention, because it just popped in right at the start of our session, so that's why it was not in the presentation, is 1,000-mile travel will reimburse the registration fee up to $450. This is based on reimbursement. It will be after Virtuoso Travel Week has ended and we've confirmed your attendance and get our credits back from Virtuoso. Sub-agents, we will be reaching out to your primary advisor who your agreement is with for approval first, but otherwise, yes. So we will reimburse up to $450 of the registration costs. I'm back to you, Amanda. Oh, the question is premise because it's going to line with it. Yes, it's up to $450 the registration costs for both the primary and the sub. However, with sub agents, we will be reaching out to your primary for approval for us to approve you to attend Virtuoso Travel Week. I hope that made sense.
And then just let's reiterate one more time. What do you have to be a member of to get into globetrotting for free, Daena?
Absolutely. That is any of the community, at least one of the communities. So I'm going to share my screen again, take you back to Virtuoso. Sorry, David, I did not mean to.
Yeah, I was jumping in. Any community.
Yep, any community. So that's where we're going to be back on virtuoso.com. And under the tools and resources, go to information pages. And there probably was a different way to do this, but this is the way I know. And then you're going to come down here where it says Virtuoso Communities Program. Here's a list of all the different communities. You can see who the participating partners are. And you're going to click on this green bar here that says register for 2026 communities. So primaries, we will cover the cost up to 2. Sub-agents, we will cover the cost up to 1. At the checkout, when it asks for how are you going to pay for the community, you're going to select agency invoice. And I'm coming back.
And that was
Any
our
other
last question.
questions?
That was it. Oh, Ron does have
Great.
his hand up.
Oh, yes, Ron. You can unmute yourself, Ron, if you'd like.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
I can, yes.
I just went in to register while we were talking, and it took me to a button to request to attend. And once I did that, I could do nothing further until I'm approved. So can you make that distinction that you don't complete all the registration process until they notify you that you're approved?
Yep,
'Cause
that
I
is
can't,
what,
like,
sure. I'll
can't
put that slide back up.
Yeah, I thought you could at least request a hotel and put your days in, but you can't do that until you're approved, correct?
Nope, not correct. So let me
Okay.
bring up this process again, because they're not going to allow you to take any inventory out of the hotels
Right.
if you're not approved to attend. So yes, all you can do at this point is request to attend. There's nothing else you can do until you're approved and you receive that to complete the registration. At that time, then you'll be able to go and select your host hotels and navigate through the rest of it. So at this point, it's just you're requesting to approve, getting your name on that list. That's going to come to 1,000 Mile, where leadership and your account manager will review. Then we go in and approve, whatever the options are that we can do. And then starting the week of March 4th is when you'll start receiving those email notifications of whether you're approved. And then the next step is for you to go in and complete that registration process. I would suggest in that if you're considering attending Virtuoso Travel Week, wanting to attend, is to maybe reach out to your account manager, have the discussion with them about it. Like, are you available the full days? Is it only some of the days? Do you have questions on it? We're here for you because this is one of the industry's biggest events and greatest events. Wanting to set you up for success because there is a lot that's offered. I mean, just what Virtuoso has to offer, in addition to things that are being, the partners are hosting outside of the Virtuoso Travel Week agenda. So thank you for sharing that, Ron, and reminding me to reiterate that. Any other questions to be missed? This has been recorded. It will be, I believe, posted on the hub, plus Amanda and I will be sending that out in our e-newsletters as well, so that you have access to this recording as well as the Virtuoso one. And we do really thank you and appreciate your time and hope to see you in Vegas. Thank you, everyone.